Mr. Narendra Modi on Saturday attended the HT Leadership Summit in New Delhi, where he underscored India's strong economic momentum. Citing the recently released Q2 GDP numbers, the Prime Minister said that India's 8% growth rate reflects a new pace of progress and sends a clear macroeconomic signal that India is emerging as a key driver of global growth.
अभी कुछ दिन पहले भारत में Q2 के जीडीपी फिगर्स आए हैं। 8% से ज्यादा की ग्रोथ रेट हमारी प्रगति की नई गति का प्रतिबिंब है। साथियों, ये सिर्फ नंबर नहीं है, ये स्ट्रांग मैक्रो इकोनॉमिक सिग्नल है। ये संदेश है कि भारत आज ग्लोबल इकोनॉमी का ग्रोथ ड्राइवर बन रहा है और हमारे ये आंकड़े तब है जब ग्लोबल ग्रोथ 3% के आसपास है। G7 की इकोनॉमीज औसतन 1.5% के आसपास है, 1.5%। इन परिस्थितियों में भारत हाई ग्रोथ और लो इन्फ्लेशन का मॉडल बना हुआ है।
The Prime Minister also spoke about the transformational shift in India's reform approach. He noted that earlier reforms were often reactionary or driven by political compulsions, but today they are guided by national goals, clear targets, and a consistent nation-first intent.
एक समय था जब भारत में रिफॉर्म्स रिएक्शनरी होते थे, यानी बड़े निर्णयों के पीछे या तो कोई राजनीतिक स्वार्थ होता था या फिर किसी क्राइसिस को मैनेज करना होता था। लेकिन आज नेशनल गोल्स को देखते हुए रिफॉर्म्स होते हैं, टारगेट तय है। आप देखिए, देश के हर सेक्टर में कुछ न कुछ बेहतर हो रहा है। हमारी गति कांस्टेंट है, हमारी डायरेक्शन कंसिस्टेंट है और हमारा इंटेंट नेशन फर्स्ट का है।
Prime Minister Modi also criticized what he called a colonial mindset, saying that the term Hindu rate of growth was used at a time when India was struggling with 2 to 3% growth, unfairly tagging an entire society with unproductivity and poverty, and attributing slow development to India's civilizational identity.
आज भारत दुनिया की सबसे तेजी से ग्रो करने वाली मेजर इकोनॉमी है। कोई भारत को ग्लोबल ग्रोथ इंजन बताता है, कोई ग्लोबल पावर हाउस कहता है। एक से बढ़कर एक बातें आज हो रही है। लेकिन साथियों, आज भारत की जो तेज ग्रोथ हो रही है, क्या कहीं पर आपने पढ़ा, क्या कहीं पर आपने सुना, इसको कोई हिंदू रेट ऑफ ग्रोथ कहता है क्या? दुनिया की तेज इकोनॉमी, तेज ग्रोथ कोई कहता है क्या? हिंदू रेट ऑफ ग्रोथ कब कहा गया? जब भारत 2-3% की ग्रोथ के लिए तरस गया था। आपको क्या लगता है, किसी देश की इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ को उसमें रहने वाले लोगों की आस्था से जोड़ना, उनकी पहचान से जोड़ना, क्या ये अनायास ही हुआ होगा क्या? जी नहीं। ये गुलामी की मानसिकता का प्रतिबिंब था। एक पूरे समाज, एक पूरी परंपरा को अनप्रोडक्टिविटी का, गरीबी का पर्याय बना दिया गया। यानी ये सिद्ध करने का प्रयास किया गया कि भारत की धीमी विकास दर का कारण हमारी हिंदू सभ्यता और हिंदू संस्कृति है। और हद देखिए, आज जो तथाकथित बुद्धिजीवी हर चीज में, हर बात में सांप्रदायिकता खोजते रहते हैं, उनको हिंदू रेट ऑफ ग्रोथ में सांप्रदायिकता नजर नहीं आई। ये टर्म उनके दौर में किताबों का, रिसर्च पेपर्स का हिस्सा बना दिया गया।
And to discuss the Prime Minister's, key message at the HT Leadership Summit, I'm joined by Praful Ketkar. He's the editor of Organizer. Praful, the Prime Minister, hailed the Indian economic growth story, calling it a key driver of global economy. We'll come down to that. He put out many figures. He touched upon, the various reasons for that. But I want to come to the first to the last bite that we played of the Prime Minister, where he said, where he called for set a deadline for getting out of the colonial mindset over the next 10 years, citing Hindu rate of growth, saying when we were struggling to grow at 2-3%, it was called a Hindu rate of growth. Now when we are growing above 8%, doing well, then you don't call it a Hindu rate of growth. Where did this term Hindu rate of growth come from? Was it by the Westerners or did we coin it? And if they coined it, then how do we get out of our colonial mindset, or where is the question of getting out of the Indians getting out of their colonial mindset?
Good evening. We need to understand that first time ever Prime Minister has been talking about decolonizing our minds. But first time perhaps he elaborated what does it mean so extensively. And this part was most interesting, because whenever we talk about the ideas of communalism and secularism, many a times, talking anything Hindu becomes communal. And in 1960s, many scholars, economists especially, though this was not new, the Weberian and the Marxist understanding of Indian economy was basically the status quoist. The idea of karma siddhanta was derogatory for them, and that's why they called it a static society. Now, unfortunately, the Nehruvian socialism was struggling to find a rate of growth that would be consistent with the global growth in 1960s. And that time, the term Hindu rate of growth was coined. And in academic circles, in research, everywhere this term was made popular.
Praful, who coined it? Praful, who coined it?
It was first, it was Indian economists who coined it, but it was rooted in the colonial mindset. Prime Minister precisely talking about it. It is not the question what Britishers tried to do or what American scholars are trying to do. The question is, when Indian scholars blindly follow it, then that is a sign of colonial mindset. He is basically talking about this, and that is why I found that very, very interesting, because he elaborated on, the shipping industry, our villages, the role of women, the role of, startups, and how they can contribute, and they are contributing to Indian economy. The core theme was transforming tomorrow. So he actually laid down a path, what kind of reforms and what kind of foundation is going to change tomorrow. But as a precondition, he put forth this idea that we have to decolonize our minds. And one of the key factors is we should have a self-confidence, self-belief, and we should not be derogatory about our culture and our traditions.
Okay. Let's talk about what else he spoke about. He said India today is a model of high growth, low inflation, and is a key driver of the global economy. And he said that's a strong signal of our macroeconomics being right. But these are quarter two results. Is there a consistent growth trajectory that we can rest our laurels on?
See, if we see in comparative terms, India is doing consistently better in the post-COVID scenario. As Prime Minister was rightly pointing out, G7 is hovering around 1.5% growth rate. Entire world is facing some form of depression, and there India is definitely a rising star, if you want to call it, and that clearly shows the kind of mindset. See, the global challenges are common, especially what Prime Minister said that in the last 25 years we have seen so many upheavals. We have seen wars, we have seen global pandemic, we have seen a series of economic crises. Whether you take it 2002-3, whether 7-8, and post-pandemic, we have seen a lot of economic changes. We have been witnessing a lot of technological changes. But the way India is coping with it, and that Prime Minister was trying to point out that unless there is a participatory governance approach, unless there is a reform with a constructive mindset and not under some international pressure or as a reaction, we cannot achieve this consistent growth rate. So whether it is 6.7 or 8.2, it is not going to make much difference if we see in actual terms. What is important is when somebody is struggling to touch even 2.5%, 3%, we are consistently giving it above 6%. That is, that average. But again, if we really want to achieve the targets that Prime Minister has set for 2047 as a developed country, then perhaps we need a more consistent effort. But for that, probably Prime Minister pointed out the kind of approach we should have. He perhaps was trying to say that the foundation is laid, but unless everybody come together, decolonize yourself, and unleash our potential to the best possible extent, we cannot achieve that goal. That was perhaps the crux of his speech today.
Praful, what did he mean by when he said that the nation-first intent is driving consistent improvement?
See, what he was trying to, he gave example of, say, defense sector, for example, or shipping sector. There he gave example that, we developed a mindset at one point, our even during, for that matter, British period, our defense industry, our weapon industry was doing very well. Till 60s, we had a very thriving shipping industry, and we had a substantial share. In fact, India's original economic model was more maritime. But unfortunately, due to colonial mindset, we developed a kind of sea-blind approach, the Delhi-centric approach. The nation-first approach, the nation-first approach simply means where you put your national interest above your party or political or personal interest, and then take decision very much rooted in your cultural ethos. That is what he tried to say when he in fact started by saying the way we are now more confident economy, the way we are a bridge builder. How many times we have seen a country where a Russian president is in India, and the US is upgrading India's status as a strategic partner, happening almost simultaneously. How India is able to lead G20, the global South on the one hand, and become a member of or a partner in entire G7 or G8 process. All these things suggest that if you keep your national interest above everything, then you can have a right policy options and you can talk to the global, players also with more conviction and confidence. That is what India is doing currently.
Okay. All right, Praful, before I let go of you, the Prime Minister said there is a transformational shift in India's reform approach. He said that earlier, reforms were often reactionary or driven by political compulsions. But today they are guided by national goals, clear targets, a consistent nation-first intent. What is the comparison? What was he trying to say there?
He was clearly talking about the 1990s reforms when Dr. Manmohan Singh, as a finance minister, liberalized the economy, but it was more under the, the pressure from World Bank and IMF, and we had to sign, join World Trade Organization under the Western pressure. Our economic condition was very bad. Our foreign exchange reserve was not up to the mark. And all these things led to the so-called reforms. Now, the idea of reform is based on our own conviction and our own interest. For example, we have completely let off the archaic laws. Almost 1,500 laws are no longer applicable in India. It was no compulsion by anybody, but it was a conviction that, why unnecessary, whether small-scale industries, whether individuals, whether families, why should they be governed under the laws which actually do not make any sense because they were some colonial laws. Even many of our, whether criminal procedure code, whether our income tax laws, they are also being reformed so that, one is, of course, we should change the systems and the laws as per the need of the time.
Okay.
But also, it is important that, they should be in tune with our requirement and not as per the requirement of other players.
Okay. All right. Praful, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much for joining us and taking our time.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks a lot.